In this lesson, we're going to learn how to hold your pick and how to strum the guitar. Now, first with your pick, there's no right or wrong way to hold it, but basically it's going to be between your index finger and your thumb, and you just want the pick to be resting on your index finger and just kind of lightly hold it with your thumb. You don't want to hold it too tight or you might break a string when you're strumming. So just kind of keep it there, just enough to hold it, and then and that's good to go. And now that you have your pick and you're feeling comfortable with it, we'll learn how to strum. So with this hand, just put your hand over the strings like this, and that's just going to mute the strings. And when you strum, it's just kind of like it's just a flick of the wrist. You don't want to do it with your whole arm like this. It's just kind of a nice fluid motion. You don't want to do it too hard, and it's just going to kind of go like this. Now just practice that until it feels natural. If your pick goes flying out of your hands, that's okay. You're just getting used to it. So just practice that, and then that's a downstroke, and we're gonna also want to do an upstroke. And just kind of go ahead and practice that until it feels comfortable, and then we'll move on to chords, and you'll be more prepared. Now we're going to talk about chords. Chords basically means you're playing multiple notes at the same time. Now, refer to your chord diagram. This is basically a picture of this part of the guitar, this fretboard here. You'll see at the top of your chord diagram, there's a reference for the nut. And that's just to show you where you are at in the guitar. The chord diagram is showing you the shape that you're going to play. So the bolded note is going to be the root of the chord, and the rest are showing you what notes need to be pushed down. If there's an X, that means that you do not want to play that string. So refer to your first chord diagram, which is going to be of E major. And E major is going to be played like this. You're going to take your second finger, which is your middle finger, place it on the second fret on the 5th string, which is the A string. So just like that. When you're pressing down your finger on the fretboard, you want to press it down nice, hard enough to where it plays the note cleanly. If you're pressing it too lightly, you'll get kind of a buzzing noise, so you want to press it just hard enough. And then you're going to take your third finger, which is your ring finger, press it down on the 2nd fret of the 4th string, and then you're going to take your first finger and press it down on the 1st fret of the 3rd string. So this is the shape of E major, and this is going to feel very awkward at first, so don't let that bother you. The best way to get these chord shapes down is to do that, lift it up, push it down again, and just kind of practice that. Just like that. The more you do it, the more it's going to become muscle memory, and your fingers will just go right there every time. So press those down nice and clean. Make sure that your fingers aren't covering any of the other strings, or else you're going to kind of get a muted sound. So you want to make sure that they're nice and clean on there. And then strum downstroke, just like that. And then kind of practice this to get that shape down. Now that you've got some practice with the E major chord, we're going to move on to a few more chords that you'll need to learn. Like E major, A major is the same shape. It's just played starting with the A string instead of the E string. So instead of taking your second finger, putting it on the 2nd fret on the 5th string, you're going to take your second finger, put it on the 2nd fret on the 3rd string. And then the same shape, 3rd finger, 2nd fret on the 3rd string, 1st finger, 1st fret on the 2nd string. And when you play this chord, you'll see that in your chord diagram, the 6th string is X'd. So you don't want to play that string, because if you do, it doesn't sound right. The root note is A. You'll play it just like that. So you've got that chord shape pretty much down at this point. Now we're going to move on to a few little more difficult shapes. Now the D chord is going to be played with your first finger on the 2nd fret on the third string, your third finger on the third fret on the second string, and then your middle finger on the second fret on the sixth string. And with this chord, this shape is going to feel really awkward at first, but it'll come naturally once you practice it. This chord, you're going to play the third or the fourth string and not the fifth or the sixth string. So just like that, just those top four strings. And like I said, with these new shapes, just kind of practice that and then maybe take your hand off, practice it again just to get those shapes down so it's feeling more natural. So we've got E major now, A, and D. Now we're going to learn the G chord, and this is one of the most difficult shapes. So once you get this down, you'll pretty much be able to play any chord. We're going to take your second finger, put it on the third fret on the sixth string. Your first finger is going to go on the second fret on the fifth string. Your third finger is going to go on the second string on the third fret. And your fourth finger is going to go on the first string on the third fret. And you're going to play all of the strings in this chord. And as you're practicing, just kind of practice your strumming. Strum up, strum down. Now that you know those simple chords, we're going to learn how to transition in between the chords. And this is really simple. So let's say you're playing the E major chord that we learned and you want to turn it into the D chord. So let's just strum it a few times. So a real easy way to transition chords like I just did there is to strum the open strings once. So. And I don't expect you to be able to do the shapes that quickly, but just kind of practicing transitioning the chords that way and lifting your hand off the fretboard. That's really going to help you get those shapes down. In this lesson, we're going to be going over bends and vibratos. Now, a bend is called a bend because you're literally bending the string to make the note higher. So let's play with our third finger. Let's play the 7th fret on the third string. Now if we're going to do a bend, you are literally going to push the string up like this. Okay, so let's play the note and then push the string up. That's the sound you're looking for. So that's a bend. And like a bend, we're also going to go over vibratos, which is basically a small bend back and forth. Just to give it that kind of wiggle sound. In this lesson, we're going to be going over pulls, hammers, and trills. Now, they'll also be referred to as pull-offs or hammer-ons. Let's take your third finger, put it on the 7th fret of the first string, and then also take your first finger, put it on the 5th fret of the first string as well. Let's play that note. And this is going to be what's called a pull-off. You're going to play the note and then pull with your ring finger off to that 5th fret. So, and you want to kind of pull it so it plucks the string again. Just like that. Okay? And the hammer-on is just the opposite of that. So we're going to play the 5th string, and then they call it a hammer-on because you're going to want to hammer that finger on to the 7th fret to kind of play the note again. Just like that. Pull off and hammer on. Now a trill are basically those two things together. You're going to do both of them simultaneously to keep the note going. Just like that. And that's a trill. So pull off, hammer on, and then a trill. In this lesson, we're going to be going over slides and palm muting. Now, a slide, you're going to basically slide your finger up a string, just like that. So, or down. So let's play with any finger you want. Let's play the 5th fret on the 2nd string and slide up to the 7th fret. Just like that. And then we'll slide back down. And you can kind of just play around with that any way you want. And then we're also going to go over palm muting. Now palm muting, you're going to take the bridge of your palm right there, and you want to rest it just above the bridge of the guitar. So just like that right there. And you don't want to do it too much, because then you're not going to get any noise out of the strings. You don't want to do it too little, or you're not going to get the noise you're looking for. And the noise you're looking for is just like this. Okay? If I do it too much, you're not going to hear anything. If I do it too little, you're not going to get the noise. So you're looking for just that, kind of that chugging noise. And you can also, you get that nice, just kind of soft muted noise. And that's what's called palm muting.